All right, you guys, number 7, find a degree 3 polynomial with real coefficients whose leading coefficient is 5 that has -2, 1, and 4 as 0. So the leading coefficient is 5, means that our A is going to be 5, but this is a lot easier than you guys are probably making it out to be in your head. I'm just going to put 5 and then 3 spaces to make my zeros. My first 0 was -2. So that's going to be plus 2, x plus 2, because if x is -2, -2 plus 2 is 0, right? My second 0 is 1, so that's going to be x minus 1, because if x was 1, 1 minus 1 would be 0. And then 4, so it's going to be x minus 4, because remember my 0 would be here. You can simplify that a little bit more by just multiplying it through if you want. I wouldn't suggest doing that. It's a lot of work for not a lot of output from that. But where this would cross, if you want to look at it like this, the zeros would be, right, -2, +1, and +4. Okay, and my leading coefficient is 5, which means it's going to go positive this way. So that's kind of what that graph would look like. I think we can skip the next one with synthetic division, so not 8, but number 9. Number 9 is pretty simple. All we're going to do is input this information into the calculator and do a cubic regression. The only thing you're going to have to change is that we don't want to use the actual years that they have in the table. If you read down, it says the table shows the number of employees of the Gizmo company. Find a cubic regression equation using x is equal to 0 to represent 1970. So what that means is if we have that table that they have with the year and the number of employees, years are x, employees are y. Okay, 1972, if 1970 is 0, then 1972 would be 2. So that x is 2, where the y is 247. Okay, and in the next one, x would be 5, and then the y would be 475. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is be entering this information into lists 1 and 2. So you hit stat, edit, list 1 is 2, 5, 8, 10, 13, and 19. 10, 13, 19. Okay, and on the y, it's, let's see, after 8 years, 658, 546, 493, and 605. And you can see it's going up and down again. That's what makes it that cubic. Once you get it into the table, into the lists, you go stat, calc, cubic regression, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause this and do it the same so I can tell you what it gives me back for the cubic regression. Okay, you guys, so it gave me an A, B, C, and a D because I have a cubic. So my A is 0.612, and that's going to be x cubed. My B is -21.23 approximately. That's going to be x squared. My C is 220.86x minus 127.7. Okay, let's see, what else does it ask us to do? Round the nearest coefficient to the 0.001, sketch a graph of the cubic regression data together with the scatter plot of the data. So once you have the data in your lists, all you need to do is hit the second button and then the y equals button. That brings you to stat plots. Make sure it's turned on. Make sure you have scatter plot and your x and your y are correctly listed as list 1 and list 2. And then what works really well is a zoom stat. So hit zoom, and then I think it's 9. It's 9 on my calculator, but zoom stat. This one right here, zoom stat. Okay, and this should give you a good scatter plot. Make sure everything else is cleared out of your y equals, and then you should get a good scatter plot of that. Now go back to your y equals, enter this equation in there, and it should hit or at least get close to most of those points. So 0.612 x cubed, I'm entering it into the calculator now, minus 21.23x squared plus 220.86x minus 127.7, and I hit the graph button again. And it worked really well, so yay us. To predict the number of employees in 1995. Once you have the equation, you can go to the table and look up the number of employees when X is, what would 1995 be? 1924. So find the value when X is 24, and what I am getting is, let's see, 1,404.7. So check your work and make sure that is correct. Number 10, use a grapher to approximate all the function's real zeros, round to the nearest 0.01. Just put it in your graphing calculator and make sure you can find all of the zeros. It might be easier to use that one if you downloaded it on your phone, because I'm not sure if it's going to be 6 full zeros there. Number 11, use the rational zeros, test all the possible candidates for rational zeros. Again, that's division. We don't have to do that. Write a polynomial function with real coefficients. We didn't get into the real numbers. We had to condense a lot here to fit in 1 week. And find all the zeros of f of x equals x cubed plus 9x squared plus 33x plus 65. So you can do that first part by graphing it and finding the zeros, and the second part would also be a division. The more I'm thinking of this, the more I think we need to do division a little bit next week, so that you can see that and have a good idea. There's 2 videos. Make sure you watched both of the videos. Have a good weekend. Make good choices, and I will see y'all on Monday.